Good morning, traders. Today, on our journey to $1 million in trading profits, we had a little bit of a setback. And this comes after a really solid start to July. Today, we hit our max loss. Oof. And damn, do I have the most ridiculous running P&L chart to show you. But first, let's look at the stocks. And there we have it. PLRX, man, this ticker got me on edge. So let's see here what it's doing on the daily first, and then we'll zoom into my trade. So PLRX has been on a pretty steady decline, basing out around $4. And then it had a huge spike today after kind of like 2 months right here of this run up, this slow grind run up. And this is basically what it looked like pre-market when we were trading it, and I was actually making money on it. But then something crazy happened, so stay tuned for that. It's in the pharmaceutical industry, 36 million shares outstanding, and a 685 million market cap. The shares outstanding are nice low flow too, but the market cap is a little bit at the higher end, which really mostly came from today, which is fine. I'll trade a $500 million company, no problem. I usually like companies below $100 million, but on a day like today when they rip 100+%, yeah, it's expected that you'll be trading probably bigger market caps. In terms of news, this company is up because it had some really good results from a clinical trial, which has to do with the scarring of the lungs. But since dissecting news is not my job, let's go ahead and look at the 5-minute and see how this ticker performed. So you'll see all my trades here. Let me just go ahead and remove them from now, make a cleaner chart. We had a really nice slow grind here. This was a really long grind. We have not seen a ticker that grinded literally from 7 a.m. till the open this consistently. It's usually like a 30 or 45-minute pop you can trade, and then the ticker sells off, especially in this bear market that we're in. We just have not seen good runners. And even in bull markets, you'll get like an hour of good momentum usually that you can trade, but you'll never really get something that just literally goes on for 3+ hours. This is like unheard of. So usually pre-market, I have tons of time to catch up on my reading in terms of checking the news and making sure I know exactly what's going on in the world. Today, I didn't have the time. Every time I was like trying to start reading the news or something, PLRX kept on continuing its run, and I was like, okay, gotta get back to trading it. So I was like in this weird limbo phase a little bit where I wasn't totally dialed in on PLRX. And I think after the market opened, I had a little bit of revenge and FOMO that you guys will see, especially on the running P&L chart. That's really easy to decipher. And I think by not being super dialed in on this ticker from the get-go was really the root of my problem. So now let's go to show my trades and then go to the intraday chart and see how I traded this one. So this ticker actually popped up extended hours, but then the trading day pretty much ended. And then Monday morning, so today, it slowly grinded up. I didn't really find this area so interesting. It was only up 30%, and I'm usually not dialing in on tickers till they're up over 30%. So boom, eventually we had this breakout, and I actually took this breakout here. I bought right into the high, and this was my first win on it. I was like, okay, nice little profit there. There we go. And I kept on just trading little trades on this back to back to back to back. At no time did I really have a good winner, and sometimes I even gave back a little bit of profits. One step forward, one step back, and I was just kind of like getting annoyed at this ticker. It was like a real grinder ticker, and the volume profile was just very unusual as well. Look at the 5-minute. The price is constantly increasing here, but the volume is fading and a lot of red volume, so it's like really uncomfortable to trade. You'll see that even better in the 1 minute, where our biggest volume candle was a red candle, which is usually a big warning sign to stay away, and it definitely threw me off my game a little bit. Then we had this big breakout here. I kept trying to trade it for continuation. We didn't get it. Eventually we do get the continuation, but at this point, I'm already trying to do something else, and it pops back up. So it was like really annoying ticker for me to trade, which is fine. Like, I should have been dialed in on this ticker. I'm not complaining about the ticker. I don't care, give me any sort of ticker. I should have been more dialed in on it, but I wasn't, because this is just a very unusual situation. I just want to make that very clear. So eventually we're leading up to the market open, and I'm still trading this one pretty aggressively. I missed this pullback here, which I kind of kicked myself about, because this was actually a really nice pullback. At the market open, I just didn't really trust this ticker either. It has a huge breakout here. I actually traded this one near the perfect high, and I closed it right away because it was looking like it was halting on TOS. Basically, the price gets frozen and a bunch of orders getting pulled through. I didn't want to hold this one into the halt because I don't like trading halts. So it opened up. I bought this pullback. This was a decent little trade here, and then I had one nice little trade here, but I sized into this one again, and I got stuck right here, and I gave back almost all my profits from pre-market in this one trade. This was a really silly mistake. It doesn't even look like a bad setup, but I just bought higher here. I was really sizing in almost at the perfect high, and then I cut my losses at the perfect low, and this was almost a $20,000 trade. So just like that, I gave back like 5-6% with pretty big size right here, and I just gave back all my pre-market kind of choppy, scratchy, bad trades right here. And that was a little stressful, and I'll tell you a big reason I took this trade in a second. So coming forward here a little bit more, boom, boom, boom. I kept trading this one a little bit more, and then I got another nasty 2 trades right here. Every time just getting chopped out, and I was like, man, this is not my day. At this point, I hit my max loss in the day, and I was just frustrated. Especially, you know, a ticker that's up 100+%, and it's exactly my strategy. 5 minutes looking good, one minute's looking good. Volume profile a little bit iffy, but everything else is really there, and somehow I just totally butcher this ticker. What's even more stressful is I was up quite a bit on this ticker before I hit my max loss. So I just did everything wrong at one point. And again, that chart I'll show you guys later on, I think is really going to summarize a few things. But before we talk about that, let me share the ticker that set me off. I think this one was a big problem as well, and that's TBLT. I'm down 688 on this ticker. I'm down 484 on PLRX that we just talked about, and I'm just slightly green on MULN. It was actually the other way around at one point today with these statistics. So at one point, everything went south really quickly, and I'll show you guys the pivot point here. I think this is a really important spot to talk about. TBLT, let's quickly look at this one. Daily chart, low relative volume. It's not even that interesting of a ticker. 5-minute chart, just a big pop, and then it was a chop fest. And then I traded this one near the market open right here, looking for that continuation. And this is really what set me off. I took like a $400 or $500 loss right here, and I gave back, you know, a decent amount of my pre-market profits. And I was just like, oh, that was so unnecessary. You know, the volume was pretty okay, but we didn't have that last pop till $3. That's what I was looking for. This was just a classic trade today where I just got chopped out. This one actually started failing, so I had to cut my losses on this one regardless, but with PLRX, I got chopped out and it kept on working. So it was a really frustrating day for me. And I gotta say, this one set me off because these were small wins here. This was a small loser, nothing really that bad, but this one set me off a little bit. And then I went back to PLRX to start trading it. At first, I actually made a little bit of profits, but then I gave back a big chunk here and then the rest here. And that was just really, really frustrating. I'll quickly show you guys MULN. I just traded it really, really quickly here. I wasn't a big fan of this ticker. What we call it is this barcode thing where it has spreads and it's just bouncing back and forth like this. It's totally stuck in some weird range. You'll really see that on the 1 minute, how it looks like it's just kind of like do. You can really see that well in the 1 minute, how it's kind of chopping back and forth here. So that's exactly what was happening on MULN. These tickers are tough to trade, and once I really realized that, I kind of walked away from this ticker. Daily chart's rough and no high relative volume. So MULN was not a ticker in play, and it was not a ticker I was interested in. This was actually the ticker I did the worst on at first. I was really up nicely on these two tickers until the market opened, and I just did every mistake in the book. So now for what you guys been waiting for, let's go to the stats. This is my stats for today. Oh my god, a total disaster. My winnings here, I only made $1,100, but I just gave back so much. I made so many mistakes today. It was insane. I actually still have a pretty decent win ratio, but I just took this really solid loser here, which was super unnecessary. My average position cost was a little bit higher today because I had some big trades, but I also had a lot of scratch trades. So I was actually kind of surprised my average position cost was closer to $10,000. Still below what I really wanted to be. And then my risk reward today was just off the charts. It was super negative, and that is just never something you want to see. So I just had a lot of small wins with PLRX, and I think that was really frustrating. And then eventually I took my big loser on TBLT, actually two, and just 2 quick back-to-back trades. I pretty much give back most of my pre-market profits, and then I'm like, let me go back to trading PLRX, which I'm good at. I made a little bit on, and then I just took my big size and then just took a big loser right here, and then I just got into a red state of mind. And look at this. This is an insanely ridiculous chart right here, my running P&L. This is literally the definition of getting into a red state of mind. I was slowly doing all right. Eventually I'm up like $700. And then just like that in those 2 trades, I give back all my profits. I even have a dead cat bounce here, which is just ridiculous. Then again, all I feel like is stock price is human psychology on a chart. And this is the exact same thing. This is my psychology on a chart. So right around this area when I have my losers, my psychology pivots. I was in a green state of mind. I was kind of focused. I was kind of relaxed. I was a little bit agitated for how long and weird the pre-market was going, and that I wasn't able to catch up on some other things. And at one point at the market open, I realized like my attention was split. And this is when I should have either sized down or just stopped trading. I'm not a big fan of stop trading because I don't like the fact of always limiting my potential upside. But I really did realize that I was just getting agitated. I was in the wrong mindset. And you could see this with my chart too. All of a sudden I start losing profits. I start taking bad trades. I have a little bit of a revenge trade right here, but I'm still in a red state of mind and I just continue losing profits. And this is exactly why we have a max loss on the day, where once you reach that max loss, you can't keep trading, or else you're going to start, doing something ridiculous. You're going to lose way too much money. So whenever I'm down $1,000 on the day, that's it. I'm done trading. Live to trade another day. It's really, really that simple. And I like $1,000. It's roughly 10% based on my average position size. Plus, I can make that back in one day. I could even make twice that back in one day. So I don't really dig myself that much of a hole. If we just come over to our overall chart though, let me hide the nominal, and there you can see it. So we're still in a really, really nice uptrend. I feel like the market's heating up a little bit. June was like a really nice base hit month for me. I'll link the recap video here if you haven't seen it, but I'm excited to start sizing a bit more, get a little bit more energy in here. Unfortunately, today it didn't work out, which is fine. It's all about living to trade another day. Ultimately, it's just a little blip on this chart, and if you zoom out, it's just a little scratch into the overall chart. What I really, really want to focus on is getting that volume up right here so I can start growing a little bit more exponentially again, because all we were doing in this area was increasing our position size. So I want to start increasing my position size again, get on that exponential growth. But I can't really just do it if the market's not ready. So I have to be a little bit patient here and wait for the market to heat up a little bit so I can start adding into my winners. Because right now, if I add into my winners, it does not work. Because all I can do right now is really increase my base size, which I have been doing, but I really want to also add into winners. And that's one thing I just cannot do right now in this market. So I'm left with only increasing my base entries, which is totally fine, but I would love, love, love to get a little bit more aggressive on those winners as well. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out and consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. Like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.